are now on to the divisional round in the AFC. For the Buffalo Bills, they were able to get their first playoff win since 1995. And Bills Mafia has every reason to believe the Bills are a legit Super Bowl contender.
These games aren't easy, and they're only going to get tougher from here, so we got to go out there and execute.
As for the Bills' opponent, they'll host the Baltimore Ravens in Orchard Park. And for all the noise, Lamar Jackson couldn't get it done in the postseason. That certainly wasn't the case, as he exacted revenge against the Titans.
There's going to always be no naysayers, no matter what. So we just one game at a time. I appreciate the win.
The top seed Kansas City Chiefs are well rested and ready to defend their title. The only surprise is perhaps their opponent, the Cleveland Browns. The Browns landed haymakers early and often against Pittsburgh, and the Steelers never recovered.
We knew that everybody was counting us out, and we knew what mentality we were going to have.
The Chiefs are still the rightful favorite to come out of the AFC, but will there be an upset in Arrowhead or Bills Stadium? The playoff drama awaits.
Can't wait. AFC divisional matchups. The first one Saturday night, 8:15. Ravens and Bills. Buffalo a slight favorite at home. The Chiefs the heaviest favorite of the weekend. A double-digit favorite at home against the Cleveland Browns. That one's Sunday, 3:05 Eastern, and we'll have it for you on CBS. So let's get some picks, hopefully winning picks, from Pete Prisco and Brady Quinn. And let's start with that first game in the AFC, the late game on Saturday, Ravens at the Bills. You know, Pete, even though the Bills are favored in this game in Vegas, Sportsline likes the Ravens to win this game about 53% of the time.
I think it's going to be close, and they're a bad matchup for the Bills. When you look at what the Ravens want to do, they pound the football, they run the ball with Lamar Jackson, get him to the perimeter, and that's a real challenge for a Bills defense that has struggled against the run at times this year. They were better down the stretch against the run, but we saw the Colts run it a little bit last week, and we know what the game plan is going to be. Get the ball out of Josh Allen's hands if you're the Ravens, which means control the clock, have long, sustained drives, and try and be one of those teams that can keep him on the sidelines. It's easier said than done, and here's why. Sometimes you look up and you go, uh-oh, we're down 14-3, what now? And I think the Ravens showed last week when they fell behind 10-0, they were still true to who they were. I think they will be in this game. I do think it's going to be really close. I will take the Ravens to cover, but I think the Bills will probably win the game late with a last second.
Wow, so you don't have much of a window there.
I don't.
You're calling for like a one-point Bills
game.
win.
Yeah.
Okay, Brady?
Yeah, I'm with Pete on this one. I've got the Baltimore Ravens. I do differ, though, on how I think they're going to approach this game. I don't think they're going to try to play keep away or run down the play clock like we saw the Colts try to do even in the first half. And, yes, they dominated time of possession, but after not converting in that fourth down, it ended up not really mattering. It was the Buffalo Bills the rest of the way. It's going to be different for this reason. It's really, to me, about the Baltimore Ravens secondary and edge rushers against that passing attack of the Buffalo Bills. And I think the Ravens match up very favorably. When you look at Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters, Jimmy Smith versus that group, and this could be a group for Buffalo that might be without Cole Beasley. He's questionable right now with the knee injury. Not sure if he will play. But I think they have the ability to match up with Stephon Diggs, take away some of those big plays, and put pressure on Josh Allen. So I think this could end up being a game that's low-scoring game. I do like the under in this one, but one in which Baltimore is able to run the football, Lamar Jackson is able to make plays, and they're not put in a position where they have to play from behind, which we know is the kryptonite for this team, where Lamar Jackson has to convert into just a purely drop-back passing quarterback. I don't see this game getting out of hand. I don't see it being played that way. I like the Baltimore Ravens getting the 2.5 points.
Bills with just one loss over the last 11 games. That one loss was to the one running quarterback that they saw, and that was Kyler Murray, who ran for over 200 yards against the Bills in that game. Of course, you remember how it ended with the Hail Murray. But in that game, he ran all over this Bills defense.
Yeah, and they were better again after that. They were much more focused on the run defense after that going forward. I think you saw a different team in the postseason. But this is a different Ravens team than one we saw during the regular season, too. They have guys back healthy. You saw what they did to Derrick Henry last week in the run game. That defense is better as well. So I do think the ideal formula for the Ravens will be to keep Josh Allen off the field, because that guy's playing at a high level right now.
Brady?
Yeah, I mean, look, they're going to keep him off the field by trying to getting off the field on third down. One thing that Don Martindale does is he likes to bring pressure. That's one of his MOs. The thing that impressed me the most, though, about Baltimore last week in the wild card round was being able to stop the run. the problem with the Buffalo Bills is they don't really try to run the football that often. I think this is the game where they may try to more so to have some sort of a semblance of balance and see if they can gash this Baltimore Ravens defense with some of the pressure that they like to bring, because, like Josh Allen, I think at times, he ends up holding on to the football too long, doesn't want to give up on a play, and sometimes can make that big mistake. We saw some instances of that versus the Colts. It just came back not to bite him. He can't do that versus the Baltimore Ravens offense. The way they really dominate the clock, run the football, and can create some explosive plays, both running with Lamar Jackson or even through the air to Marquise Brown, that's going to be a problem. So, again, I don't think this is a situation where you're going to see the Baltimore Ravens play the same way the Colts did. I think they're going to be more aggressive. I think they're going to try to take the fight to the Buffalo Bills and try to dominate them and get off to a fast start early on.
Bills and Ravens 1-2 respectively in the league the last 6 games in point differential. You could argue that over the last 6 games, these are the 2 best teams in the NFL. Winner of this game have a shot to win it all, Pete?
Oh, there's no question. I think, again, you're going to have to go through Kansas City, I think, because I think they're the best team. But both teams will be able to match up in different ways. The Ravens will be able to control the ball and run the football on the Chiefs, and the Bills might be able to score with them, go up and down and throw the football all over the place. Let's just hope if we ever get to the Bills and Chiefs game that it's not winds of like 35 miles an hour. Don't do that to us. Don't cheat us out of that if that happens.
I'm right there with you. I think either of these teams could have the potential to do so, in part because, really what you look for is a defense and a rushing attack, which obviously the Baltimore Ravens have, or a quarterback that's playing almost at an MVP level. And Josh Allen is playing at that level, and he's got the opponent, components around him to be able to lead them to that. So I'm with Pete. Hopefully that AFC Championship game won't be spoiled. But I do think either of these 2 teams, whoever wins and moves on, could have the potential chance of playing in the Super Bowl.
Both like the Ravens to cover the 2.5. Josh Allen's come a long way since his rookie season. His very first appearance was against the Ravens, a game the Bills lost by 40 points. So that game is Saturday night, 8:15 Eastern.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.